Last year my brother Nicko really needed a break, so we decided we'd do what we used to do when we were young and just hit the bush. There's nothing like plenty of outback tracks and a whole heap of nights under the stars to sort just about anything. But I didn't have time to sort out Nicko's Pajero, so I got onto Mahindra and borrowed their office runaround. Probably should have told them where we were going, I guess. But it was going to be a while before we got well and truly outback, because first of all we had to drop up to Cairns, visit some family. And being school holidays, I decided to book our places on hip camp instead of just taking pot luck. We got a couple of beauties on the way up too. Really good places to stay. Check them out. We had a night in Cairns in a motel, and then we headed southwest down to Hughenden, where Nicko picked up a tech screw and we had to plug the tyre. Well, we're on the Plenty Highway now, and you know, there's plenty of nothing. And I love this, especially now because they've sealed a whole lot of it since I was here last. But get a load of this, 12.7 kilometres to the litre. That gives us more than enough range to get all the way to Alice Springs. This is our favourite sort of holiday. Mostly driving during the day, checking out places of interest, stopping for cups of tea and maybe the odd beer, and just basically having a look around the bush. No, I don't know what it is. If you do, let me know. Pretty soon we're looking for somewhere to camp. It's just late in the afternoon, you know. You want to have plenty of time to set up, get relaxed, get a fire going. You know, it's just about having fun around the fire, isn't it? And there's nothing like watching the sunset with a couple of drinks. After a great night's sleep, it's time to pack up. And this is where our bush company AX27 comes into its own. It's all down in a couple of minutes and back on the track. And of course the Plenty by now, it's still mostly dirt in the centre section. But by the look of things, they're planning on tarring the whole lot before too long. It makes sense because it's going to be a great transport corridor over to the Northern Territory. But with sealed roads comes fences, and that makes it harder to camp. And got lucky and found somewhere where we could steer off to one side, just hide in behind a hill. Yes, well, not sure if the girls enjoyed that, but we had a great night and a bit of a slow start. But pretty soon we're in Alice Springs, spent a couple of days there and watched the clouds come in. And guess what? It was raining on Ayers Rock. Now, this is something I've only seen a handful of times. We pushed on through over to the WA border so we could just bush camp and have a bit of a fire, you know. Nick hasn't seen the rock since he was a kid, and Karen and Cathy have never seen it. So we spent at least half a day just having a look around. I mean, you could spend a month here and never get over it. It's a beautiful place. Doesn't matter how many times I see the rock, it's special. So special. But this is a driving holiday after all, and I wanted to get cracking, so we pushed on down the Stuart Hwy, aiming for Cooper Pedy. But along the way, of course, we had another bush camp on the side of the road, had a wonderful damper. This is a really easy damper to make. I kind of perfected it on this trip. We were having it just about every day. Pretty soon we're in Cooper Pedy. And Nick and I were opal miners many, many years ago, so this was like a bit of a trip back memory lane too. And then we took the dirt back road that runs through to William Creek and down Moree into the Flinders.
I spy with my little eye something beginning with N. Nothing. That's right, nothing. It's beautiful though. Who would have thought nothing was so beautiful?
Too right, mate. By the end of the day we're looking for somewhere to camp, so we steered off up a back track, found a lovely place miles from anywhere, just about perfect. And we set up camp again. Another fire, another night under the stars. Oh, that's what I love about the outback. Bush camping means loving your country and leaving it exactly the way you found it. And don't forget to check your oil.
This is decompression time. Thanks, Johnny. Needed it.
A few corrugations this morning. Nicko. We're not on our own.
Pedestrians. Bye.
Stay on the left. You know, I came over the hill once in Milo, that hill, and there was a caravan stopped on the road with the table out and a bunch of people having a cup of tea. I'll tell you what, for a minute there I thought it was going to be like Skittles. Pretty soon Lake Aire's showing up on the right hand side. We came here in 1964 to see Donald Campbell race his Bluebird. Don't think Nick remembers much about it, he was only 4. But I'll tell you what, he wasn't too happy when we stopped for a cup of tea, because that's when we found that the bottles that were in the esky had all loosened their lids on the corrugated road. How many times have we got to learn the same lessons? Didn't matter, pretty soon Copley Hotel and we're turning off, heading out towards Arkaroola. Now, I've been out here a few times over the years with work and whatnot, but Nicko hasn't seen it since he was, gee, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7. I think he could be in for a bit of a surprise. It'll certainly be tickling his memory anyway. This is the veranda of Mount Sol, where Nick and I had so many memories.
Absolutely. Bloody beautiful.
It's a great place. Great place to be a kid. This used to be the machine shed, the garage. And it's funny because Nicko said when we got here, he said, "You remember Ken building me a billy cart in here?" And I did. And I've probably learnt most of my early mechanical stuff here. That's definitely a new roof, but it's a very old shed. Back in the 50s and 60s, this was all sheep country, and that's what we did. We ate sheep, we worked with sheep, we pushed sheep around the paddocks, and we sheared sheep. And in fact, I don't know how many times I ran away from the pedal radio school to come up here and help out in the sheds. Any excuse at all. We didn't camp at Mount Sol. We took off back towards Arkaroola and found a camp off the side of the road. We just wanted to be in the Flinders for one more night, you know. After one of the prettiest sunsets I've ever seen. Do you know what? By the time we got down towards Peterborough, it was looking beautiful.
Difference 100k, mates. We've actually got green grass now.
Yep, it was looking more like Ireland than the outback. But we just kept on pushing on through into New South Wales and stopped the night at the Broken Hill pub. We're just out of Broken Hill, and I have never seen the country like this. There's flowers out there I've never seen before. All that weather event on the east coast at the moment, which is horrible, but this is the other end of it. This place is getting more water down here and up through the Flinders than it ever has. Wow.
Heading into Wilcannia. This little XUV 500 is going great. It's an unreal thing. It's comfortable, it's sucking up the miles. It's luxury for someone who's only ever driven things like the old Padge and this and even. Yeah, I can see that new cars aren't that bad. They got something going for them, especially this little Mahindra.
I've never seen the Darwin looking like this, ever. And we lived next to it for years. Now it's all about water. A couple of days ago it was all about dust. Australia, you just gotta love it.
Well, Brisbane's about 300 k's away. I think we've just gone through Inglewood. I was sus as when Jono said, "Oh, I've got this thing for you, yeah, a little SUV," and I'm thinking, "Oh, wow, yeah, okay, that sounds a bit flash, but should be good." And then said, hang on, it's only front wheel drive. I'm thinking, I know where you go, Jono. I know the sort of tracks you love. This isn't going to be that easy, but it has been.
And we're pretty happy with the pickup, I tell you. I mean, it's just been too easy. It's loafed along. It's really not required any attention at all. It's quite heavily loaded. It's got a lot of stuff in the back. It really has. And do you know what? It's just been an absolute pleasure. Gee, you got a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah. I thought it might have been the car, but I'm pretty sure it was this that was rattling.
Udnadada track, Strzelecki track, plenty highway. Did you know it was a two-wheel drive?
Yeah. If you'd told me before we set off, I don't think we would have done it. But now, this thing's indestructible. Well, still got 100 k's to go. It's a beauty. It's an absolute beauty.
You know, for years I've heard people say, oh, I need this and I need that and I can't go out back without 3 or 4 of these. But the fact is, you just need to go. You know, take your bank card, just go. Go and have a look at the best bits of Australia.
I'll say big thanks to me brother. He's always kept an eye out for me, but I really needed this decompression. It's just been an amazing trip with family I love. In the outback, which I love. It's been just a labour of love. It's just been great. Anyway, good on you, Jono. Thanks, mate. Love you.
Australia really is the greatest place on earth. And I reckon the outback is the heart and soul of our country. There's nothing I love better than getting in Milo and driving off into the vast peace and quiet that you only get when you're right out in the bush. And the best thing is, it's just down the end of your street too. So come on, this is where you'll feel the true heartbeat of Australia. Come out here and have a look.